So, a lot of people that I grew up with are surprised to find out that I do comedy now. Because I was real quiet as a kid. I was kind of a loner. I didn't have social skills or friends. So I was a big gamer. I played a lot of video games. And that's why now I get frustrated when people say that video games are responsible for gun violence. 'Cause I think that's too negative of a worldview. They can do a lot of good things too, like help to prevent teen pregnancies. Trust me, I know. But I did. One of the darkest periods in my life was the first year of college when I was addicted to a computer game called World of Warcraft. Some of you, I heard someone go, ooh, that's appropriate. It's good. It's like Dungeons and Dragons on the computer. It's an online fantasy role-playing game that works very well as a form of birth control. And it's sad because it's such a lame rock bottom. Like, I wish I had a drug problem. At least then I'd have good stories. Like, if you meet a guy with track marks on his arm, but he's cleaned up, you'll say, that dude has seen some shit, and I want to hear about his life. But if I walk around with a wrist brace for my carpal tunnel syndrome, it's not. Like Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue got to write the Heroin Diaries. He got a novel or a memoir and an album out of it. No one wants to read a book about me waking up at 3 a.m. to actually chase a dragon. Like, no, but the dragon spawned at 3 a.m. and I had to kill it to get the scales to make my fire-resistant leather vest. That's the whole point of the game, is you kill stuff to get new stuff to help you kill bigger stuff, and you just do that over and over until you get tired of being a virgin. I spent some time working as an Uber driver last year. I did it full-time for about 6 months, and it's okay. It's it's a good job for comedy because I got to make my own schedule, do my own thing, but not the best money, so whatever. And there's really only 2 things that stood out to me as far as fun stories go. And one was, I had a guy who was kind of quiet. He didn't say a word for a 30-minute ride. I picked him up from the airport, so he was on a business trip here. Until once we got to his hotel, he said, I need to know where the good strip clubs are. Which, that's a reasonable question if you're, visiting town by yourself. I get it. And I said, I'm not a strip club guy. It's not my thing. And I said, there's like the Pink Pony, I think, and Cheetahs are the nice ones. And he said, no. I need to go somewhere where I can touch the girls. And he did this. He made that hand motion. He's like, I need to touch. And I was like, oh, he's creepy. This guy's gross. He's gonna assault someone. So I sent him to Swingin' Richards. But only after he paid me, so we're good. And then there was another time, I didn't like doing the late night driving. Drunk people, they're gonna throw up on you, and bad stuff happens. I don't want to deal with that. So Saturday night, it was 6 p.m., picked up a girl who was going from one bar to another, and the first thing she said when she got in my car was, I've been drinking since 10 a.m. That's 8 hours. That's a work day. That's admirable, because she was holding it together just fine. She was doing good. I can't handle it. I'm the kind of person who I have 2 beers and go, oh, you know what? I'm getting sleepy and I gotta check on my crock pot. I gotta go. So we start the ride, and she asks the same question everybody always does, which is, so what do you do other than drive for Uber? Because people want to know that there's something else. It's too sad to hear that this is it. I settled for a job that's going to be taken over by robots in 5 years. This is fine. I told her I do comedy, and she said, oh my God, my friend so-and-so does comedy. So-and-so used to be my roommate. We're still really good friends. So I told her that, and that made this girl trust me way more than she should have. It just opened the floodgates. Starts telling me about past relationships. Her last boyfriend broke up with her because he didn't like, how she always happened to become the center of attention. And if you're drinking for 8 hours a day, then that's how that's gonna go. He didn't like one time he was out with her and he ran into 2 guys that she had slept with at the same time. And then he heard about the other 49. Don't tell your partner your number. That's the secret. He also didn't like that all her friends called her shit mittens. And that's where I had questions. like, shit, man, that just sounds like a crappy Kickstarter that nobody wants to fund. What is that? Apparently, 10 years ago, this girl was 19 at a house party where she got real drunk and real high, and she had to take a dump. So when she did, the toilet wouldn't flush. Tell me her name after the show. We're Facebook friends, me and her. Anyway, so she's famous. But the toilet wouldn't flush. So because of her condition, her solution was to wrap her hands up in toilet paper and pick up, and I quote, 3 solid logs, and discreetly transplant them to another bathroom in the house. What could go wrong here? I don't know. Maybe the cute boy she was trying to get with that night caught her in the hallway and said, "Oh, hey, what is that?" And she said, well, this is your fault because your toilet's broken. Which is a bold move for someone carrying their own doo-doo. And she said, "Please don't tell anyone about this." And he told everybody. So for the last decade, this girl's legacy has been that of shit mittens. The whole time she's telling me this story, she's packing a can of dip. She's really pretty, too. I know, perfect teeth. She's a grizzly girl. She said, "My boyfriend didn't like that I dip either." I was like, I don't think anybody goes for that. There might be 4 coal miners left in Tennessee. Like if she'll put that in her mouth. You know. So, we get to the bar where she's meeting her friends, and she says one of the most magical things I've ever heard, which is, "Look, you should come hang out with us. I've got a lot of money to spend. If you do, you're not going to have to pay a dime." I was like, that's beautiful. So that's what I did. We go into the bar, and because I knew I would get a story out of it. Go to the bar, still waiting around for her friends, order the first round of drinks, and that's when I start digging to see what other kind of red flags I can find. I was like, "So how many times have you been arrested?" And she showed me the mugshot from the 3rd time. So I knew I had a winner. End up meeting her friends. They're all actually really cool. I tried to lie about how we met. I wanted to tell them that, "Oh, I met her at a show. This is a normal thing," whatever. But as soon as I walked up to them, she whispered real quickly, and the girl went, "Oh, so you're the Uber driver." And you've already heard the shipment story. Yeah. But her friends were cool. We got along. We had a good time. There was a certain point where she started getting real touchy-feely with me. Enough where I was like, "I'm gonna bang a girl named Shit Mittens tonight. I have to. This is my destiny." End up bar hopping, go to another place to meet some more friends. And that's the point where she starts to get a little too drunk, like fall down, want to take her clothes off in the bar for attention kind of thing. And that's where I was like, "Ooh, it's time for me to back out of this. This is a bad thing. I don't want to be the subject of a Jezebel think piece or whatever. Like, this is bad." So she put her number in my phone, promised we'd hang out in the future, maybe come to a show. And that was the last I saw of her. Because sometimes drunk people forget 3 to 4 digits when they put their number in your phone. And so that's it. Shit Mittens is the one that got away. Which is sad. Now this happened right before the holidays. So when I went home for Christmas, I told my mom this story. Because we're close, it's cool. And right in the middle of the whole thing, she interrupts me and said, "Did you at least get a blowjob out of this?" I'm 29. That's the first time I ever heard my mom use that word. And it wasn't even in a nebulous kind of like, "this is what this means" sense. She was talking about her baby boy being on the receiving end. And we all know nothing happened. But what I told my mom was, well, I wanted to spare you some of the nitty-gritty details, but maybe that's what happened on the ride from the first bar to the second. And I just need you to understand how messed up that is. I had to lie to my mother about getting roadhead. Just because I didn't want her to be disappointed in me. Thank you guys. I'm Devon Gollinge.